Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today is less of a tutorial and more of like a informative video for beginners or anybody that has like started not too long ago, which I guess would be a beginner. But anyway, I'm going to be talking to you guys about epoxy. Now, I am not by any means an epoxy expert. I do not claim to be one. This is just pretty much like what I've learned over the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, of making tumblers. So I get a lot of questions about what epoxy that I use, and in every video I always have a link to the epoxy company that I use, which is KS Resin. I have a link down in the description of, every video, and for this video specifically, I'm using their Liquidy Split, which is a fast set epoxy. So the fast set epoxy, you have a very, very short working time because it cures a lot quicker. With your typical epoxy, you know, you're going to want to wait several hours before you put on another coat, but with Liquidy Split, it's dried to the touch within 3 to 4 hours and then fully cured within 24 hours. So if you're needing to get something done a lot quicker, this is definitely the route to go. I keep like the big gallon kits of the regular epoxy, and then I have the smaller kits of the fast set because I don't use it that often, but if I need it, I have some. So first things first, very, very important, you're going to need a respirator. This is the one that I use. I got it off Amazon, and I'm going to have links to everything I talk about in my video description. This one I actually found going through Jessica Flynn with Flynn Sisters Boutique, her like Amazon must-haves page. I don't know what it's actually called, but I think she has links to that in all of her YouTube video descriptions as well. But she had this one linked as one in her like Amazon page, and it was like 30 bucks or something, compared to like the other ones, which were like 180. So this was a lot more in my price range, so I bought this one. It's not a full face that covers my eyes or anything, it's just a half face. So if you want to get the half face and wear goggles or something, it should be fine, but this is the one that I use. And then also I get these Nitrile Gloves from Amazon. Always, always, always glove up whenever you are using epoxy. You do not want to get this stuff on your hands. If you do, you want to get it off with like, I guess scrub, like immediately. So I think there are some epoxy companies that sell like scrubs that you can rub and help get it off of your hands, but I have been in a pinch before and I've used what was it, olive oil and brown sugar, and it created like an exfoliating like scrub to get all the sticky stuff off my hands. But these are powder free gloves. They're Nitrile Gloves. I get them on Amazon. And that's what I use whenever I'm mixing my epoxy, applying it to my cups, and all of that good stuff. So now let's put our respirator on, glove up, and get started. So of course, you know, you put part A into one cup and part B into the other. These are the cups that I use. They're just plastic cups from Family Dollar. A lot of creators will use the medicine cups. I never do, not because I don't like them, just because these plastic cups from the dollar store are just cheaper and quicker for me to get, so it's just a little more convenient. So I'll put part B into one and part B into the other, and you can see me kind of squatting down there and eyeballing it because you want to get equal parts of both. So this is what I've done since day one, and it's just like kind of my way of doing things, I reckon. So I will then pour part B into part A, and I'm using my little popsicle stick that I also get from the dollar store, the same one I get my little plastic cups from. And I'm making sure I scrape every little last drop that I can possibly get. So you can use a popsicle stick, a wooden one like that I am using here. There are silicone stir sticks, there's metal stir sticks. Just again, it's a convenience thing, I guess, that I just use the popsicle sticks. So obviously this video is very sped up because it would be excruciating for you guys to sit here and watch it in real time. But stir slowly. This helps not get so many bubbles, and your epoxy will be a lot more like clear. So I can't say that I don't get in a hurry and I mix kind of quickly sometimes, but try your best to mix slowly and mix for at least 2 minutes or so. Now, when it comes to putting the epoxy onto the tumbler, I am very messy, but I'm trying really, really hard not to be messy for video purposes. But one big thing that I've learned is you see how in the beginning there, how I poured the epoxy out of the cup onto the tumbler. I've learned, at least for me anyway, if I pour it onto the tumbler, it helps me not have so many bubbles that I have to go in and pop later. Now, you see me right there, I kind of dipped my finger in and got some for the bottom. But I've kind of learned that if I like kind of scoop some out with my fingers and put it onto the tumbler, it causes more bubbles. So just a little tidbit of something that I've learned along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one here too, because I have some left over. And another thing is to not like swipe like aggressively all over the place, if that makes sense. Like I try to just go from like top to bottom once I get my epoxy on there. So like I kind of like swivel it around a little bit in the beginning because I'm trying not to let the epoxy drip and fall onto the table and get wasted. But once I have it on there and I know it's not going to drip and run all over the place, I go from the bottom of the tumbler up and I make sure to really get around the rim so there's no rough spaces, and don't forget the bottom as well. And then to go in and pop any air bubbles that might be trapped into the epoxy, this is a torch that I got from Walmart, and I am just swiping back and forth over the tumbler. It looks like from the angle that I'm just doing this on one tumbler the entire time. I promise I'm not. I did the pink and white one first, and then I leaned over a little more and I did the multicolored one. So I just do that for just a few seconds to get any air bubbles out and make sure that my epoxy has a nice pretty glass-like finish. So like I said, when I started, it was roughly 11 a.m. It was like 11:02 or 11:03 or something. It is now exactly 2:13 p.m., so just a little over 3 hours later. And both of these tumblers are cured to the touch. They're not tacky anymore or anything. This one is going to be an upcoming tutorial. This one is for a friend. But they're both to the point where I can move on. I could add decals. This one actually needs sanded and another coat. But this one is ready for a water slide decal and some sanding down here and another coat of epoxy, which from here on out, I'll just use the regular coats. But I love this stuff. I love the KS Resin Liquidy Split. I love KS Resin completely. I've tried different epoxies and I don't want to I'm not knocking any other epoxy companies. It's just this is the one that has worked best for me. A lot of the times around where I live, my power goes out, and as long as, you know, it's been spinning long enough to where it's cured and it's not going to start dripping and everything, even if it's too hot or if it's too cold in here, my KS Resin normally still cures pretty well. It doesn't stay like tacky or anything. So like I said, it just works for me. It is my absolute favorite, and I don't think I will be switching to anything else anytime soon. Before I go, like always, I do have y'all's cup of positivity for the day, and today's quote is, "You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens." And that was said by Mandy Hale. That is all I have for you guys today. I really hope anybody who was needing some more information about epoxy, especially fast set, I hope this was helpful for you. I am so excited to get this tutorial finished and up for you guys. It's going to be so stinking cute. I know it looks a little nyeh right now, but I'm telling you it's going to be really super cute, and I'm super excited. And this glitter, I just want to go ahead and say, this is, the white is Marilyn and the pink is Destiny. They're both from the Glitter Grind, and oh my lord, they look so pretty. If y'all have any questions, like always, please feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!